Hi YouTube. I wanted to post a very quick post just to answer a question that's been asked a couple of times, and that's the difference between just sort of the regular TESE or the biopsy that I was looking at and the MicroTESE, which was what I'd hoped for as a procedure that would back up in case I didn't have a viable sample, and as you know I did, so yay that, but it's a fair question, and just to explain the difference. I can't explain the biopsy as well as I'd like. I know it's done through a very small incision, and I believe just a needle is inserted into various parts of the testicle depending on the kind of biopsy they're doing. This is done under local anesthetic. It's supposed to be uncomfortable, but you don't need general anesthetic. And they draw up tissue and sometimes sperm directly from the tubules, and hopefully they find something that they can use from the biopsy. Now, it has sort of varying rates of success, but your doctor is the one that really needs to answer the questions as to what the advantage of that procedure is over MicroTESE. MicroTESE is done under general anesthetic. They actually cut open your scrotum and look for viable sperm under a microscope. So they really they look what they're looking for, and they open you right up. It's more traumatic. There's a higher rate of testicular failure afterwards. However, the rate is not high. However, this is new procedure. This has only been done for 10 years, so the long-term studies are not in. So that's an important consideration. And the other issue, though, that you should bear in mind is if you do go through testicular failure, it's in fact not the end of the world. Obviously not an ideal situation. But the big problem will be testosterone, so you'll get supplements, and it's the same as you'd normally produce yourself, so you can maintain those levels quite normally if it happens. As far as, well, it might cause infertility. If you're already struggling with infertility, that's a risk you'll have to balance. So both carry risks, but MicroTESE does carry more. However, it's more effective. I don't know if it's available at every center. I mean, I was lucky enough to be a patient with a urologist who's at a teaching hospital, so really the latest and greatest was available to me, which was fantastic. I don't know if that's a widely available option, so it's something you're going to have to consider. But in any case, I'm sorry you're going to be having to make these decisions, but you need to speak to your physician about what the different options are. The questions you're asking are, what are the improvements to fertility that the procedure may give you, and remember, it's always sort of percentages. And the other question is, what are the side effects? You know, what are you facing if something goes wrong? You know, if the remote chances really bother you, then you don't do the procedure. But that's the way you have to approach this. You speak to your physician, you say, what are the options? I've heard of MicroTESE, they'll know what it is, and they'll say, okay, this is not appropriate in this case, because remember, there are risks, and sometimes you don't need it. But if nothing else is available, then it may provide a possibility on the day of retrieval that other options might not provide. That is the difference, as far as I understand, between a biopsy and a MicroTESE. Please speak to your physician. I am not a source of medical information beyond what I've said here, and you can't take it to be accurate. I'm not a doctor. So please speak to your physician. But as far as I understand it, that's what was provided to me. Anyway, if I've spoken out of turn, I do apologize to any physicians. Please let me know if I've said anything really problematic, and I will take this down instantly and offer a retraction. But I believe that's as I understand it. Good luck. We've turned out really well. I wish you the same kind of luck, and I hope it goes well.